What story am I talking about? Am I talking about my father and what I learned from my father and the dream of my father? And those of you who know and listen know that my father, Shamshad Siddiqui, was alive and now he's no longer with me. Allah have mercy with him. Am I talking about my father and what I learned from my father? Of course, yes, that's always what I'm talking about, because if you've ever listened to Salim, then you know that I say every time I am the son of Shamshad from the family of Siddiq, and so the story's always about my father. But I'm saying, no, I'm trying to tell you a story. So we need to go back to not my father, but to your father. Your father, Abraham. Your father, Adam, from the very moment of creation, from the very beginning. From before physicality, from before the physical Adam. We said we know, brothers and sisters, that even before the physical Adam, there was much, much going on. And there were beings of various kind, of various different types, various evolutions of man, from various different species of various different animal forms that had all evolved to upright, walking, men-like beings, and even evolved up and ascended up into the heavens. All of this before your father, Adam. And so then you have to ask yourself a question. If you were a being of the lion nature, who was of the jinn, we have spent so much time worrying about beings who are reptilians and being afraid that we have forgot to ask ourselves a very simple, basic question. We acknowledge now wholeheartedly that the truth is there. There are beings who are jinns. In the unseen, we believe in the unseen, and some of them are of the dark, and they have been manipulating us. Then are there beings who are not reptilians? What would it be like for beings that are not reptiles, but beings of a different nature? Lion beings. What is the energy of a lion? What is the vibration of a lion? What is the song that they would sing? If I were king of the forest, not queen or duke or prince. Of course, Wizard of Oz, what would it be like if you were king of the jungle? A lion being. We're scared to even think of the concept. Beings of a lion nature. We've been frightened for contact of the jinn. We don't want to mix with them, and they're not supposed to mix with us. There is a law of this world. There is a reason why this shouldn't be broken. No. We don't believe in any of that pagan stuff. We don't worship any other beings other than the Creator Most High. We don't want to be exposed to any of these false gods. We don't worship false gods like the past, brothers and sisters. We're not pagans. This evil energy of the dark has been manipulating us, and it's been there pushing us towards violence, pushing us towards corruptible patterns in sex. Ooh, the dark energies are there, manipulating us and pushing us. The pussycat dolls, and the Illuminati and the secret family using these lions in their crests, having their secret knowledge of these pagan rituals and practice, and having some connection to beings of the lion community, these pagan rituals and these sacrifices that they must have been doing. We have no desire to be involved in any of this nonsense and false pagan rituals. What were those people of ancient Egypt doing? Did beings of felines come here in ancient Egypt that looked something like a feline or a lion being, and then paganism came? Astaghfirullah. Allah protect us from this falsehood. We don't want to believe in any of this pagan nonsense. We are not worshippers of the lions. What was going on in ancient Egypt? We know that there were so many different gods, lions and jackals and all kinds of animals. And so it makes us wonder, were there all kinds of different jinns? All different kinds of beings? And is the interpretation of all these pagan rituals correct? We have a strange narration of one individual, Akhenaten, or Haten. Some of you will know, strangely, as we talk about the developments I've mentioned before in illegal trade of underground cultural property. And again, we're not talking about your Battlestar Galactica DVD collection. We're talking about ancient artifacts. And many of you who pay attention to some of the disclosure community information are beginning to see that there's a lot going on in ancient Egypt. Now, to say that I don't have any background in understanding this specific field would be untrue, because, of course, I know people in Egypt. I lived there myself. I've studied the illegal trade of cultural property and all the laws relating to it, of course, professionally. But even on a personal basis, I know Egyptians who have come to me with projects, and you guys in the disclosure community know what I'm talking about, asking for funds that I didn't have at the time to get the sonar equipment to do the underground vibrational tests that is happening right now in many of the illegal digs, and knowledge is just being taken by those who have no understanding of what they're finding and no comprehension of what it means. Oh, families of wealth who are hiding your secret findings. You won't find the way up, and you won't find the way in without listening to what we are telling you. Not me, but all the brothers and sisters of the light. This is a message to all the dark families. Wake up, brothers and sisters. Wake up. We're going to come to you soon, out loud and in open. Oh, families. The light's coming to you. They're trying to figure out what the ancient knowledge means. And of course, we always tell everybody here, there is an understanding that first happens spiritually, vibrationally, before it happens physically, as is obvious to any of us on the path. That would never be obvious to them, because no matter how many signs they see, they'll never understand. So now we go back to this concept of understanding our world and how that fits in. Let's begin from the very beginning with Egypt and what they were looking for. We have Akhenaten, a pharaoh comes in and does something dramatic and tells everybody at a time the ideas of paganism, that we worship any of the other beings from the higher realms, are not true. That we worship the one and only Creator, the one who created the sun, Akhenaten, of the sun. Of the sun, again, Those of us who now understand the symbol of the sun know that any of the beings of the light who reference the sun as a sign for us were not ever saying that they worship the sun. We know now, brothers and sisters, what the sun means in all its various interpretations. What still the scientists just today are starting to realize, I think there's something strange going on with the sun, ladies and gentlemen. Right? They're just starting to come around, aren't they, brothers and sisters? They're just starting to come around. So Akhenaten was there all that time ago telling everybody what? The sun is going to be your sign, and it is going to be what leads you to ascension. Beings of the lion community? Akhenaten? We have to go back and ask ourselves this concept. What happens to beings of the light? So many of the ancient concepts have to do with spiritual ascension. Ascending spiritually and marking timelines of when this planet was aligned with certain things and when it will be aligned again with certain things. And what does that have to do with the Sphinx? How do we express this concept? How do we do it in culture to actually explain things? We're here on this planet, we're looking to try and make the connections all the way from the ancient past, all the way from ancient Egypt, and what the meaning of the Sphinx actually means. Because we come here on this world and we're born, and I always tell you, my name is Salim, son of Shamshad. I was born here on this planet like you, seeing everything that you see, figuring out the signs and the symbols the same way you did. Right? And we get here and what? There's more to see than can ever be seen. More to do than can ever be done. There's far too much to take in here. More to find than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. Well, everybody knows the song. It's from Lion King, right? The pop culture classic. Simba. He's alive? All right, let's flash to another scene in my life. It's mid-90s. I've been living in Mecca for about a year and a half, started to study hardcore, really into the knowledge now. Come back, decided it's time to get married. It's time to have that braveness. It's time to have that courage. Because, we talked about courageousness and being a lion and a fighter, and we're going to talk about jihad. But sometimes having a little courage is something simple like, asking a girl to get married, the simpler things, the romantic things, the love things. So there I am with my wife. We just got married back in the States. Hadn't gone to the movie. We just got married, going to see the first movie with my wife. And she wants to go see what? Lion King. So there we are in the movie. I'm this hardcore guy, fundamental religious, spent time in Saudi Arabia learning the fundamentals of faith. Well, you guys know what the fundamentals are right now, so it's not so scary anymore, but, I'm this tough guy, and my wife's going to the movies with me for the first time. She doesn't know me as well as you know me. She doesn't know what I'm like. She doesn't know what could happen, right? She doesn't even know that I'm the way I am, because I can be emotional, right? Anything can happen when you're around me. I'm supposed to be this tough guy. So there we are. We're watching Lion King. Everybody's happy, and I'm enjoying the show, and I'm watching there. It's the circle of life.